Hey guys, how you doing? The Vox Squad's back already. You thought it'd be a little while before you saw our faces again, but how can we leave you during you? Well, I hope no one's got Eurovision depression. Start. Has anyone got Eurovision depression yet?
I do.
No.
I didn't have time.
No, I'm just super happy.
Yeah, me too. I'm still riding that wave.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, lucky you guys.
Jess, I feel sorry for you. I'm still feeling great. I'm still happy after Italy's win on Saturday, but we will talk about that. Let's just go to the live chat and say hello to Morton V.
Hi.
It's been an amazing Eurovision, Morton V. And thank you so much for watching our work. We really, really appreciate it. And guys, I hate to say it again, but we hit 13K subscribers on the weekend.
Thank you.
Hey, Sarah Halloran, how you doing? We've got Joanne Johnson. You're happy that Italy have won. Rye Bailey, fantastic final and a fantastic winner. Yes. Hey, Matteo in Italy. Ciao. We can't wait to come and see you guys in a year's time. Hey, Euroboy 4. You're happy the 3 shows. And you're happy with the 3 shows and results, but PED starting to happen. Well, that's why we're here. So you can forget about it for an hour or so. Matteo, yes, you're going to host. Oh, you're going to host us? Yes, we will be there.
Thank you. Thank you.
We can't wait. Hello to Frankie, asking how we are. Well, let's go around. Clara, how you feeling?
Well, I slept for like 13 hours and then I did a siesta, like a nap for other 2 hours after lunch. So I still, my body is in Spain, but my mind is still in the presenter.
Tommy.
Yeah, I slept. I've been asleep more than I've been awake the last 24 hours, but I'm just super happy. I really enjoyed the whole experience, and I'm just glad that we got to have Eurovision again. And yeah, I'm just happy.
Oh, Stu.
You know, I can't complain because, I mean, yeah, I had to wake up early a few days, but things ended pretty early here as well. So I can't say that I'm as exhausted as you guys were. But yeah, I'm doing great.
Yeah, because you guys that have been watching, you know that because Stuart's obviously in a very different time zone. So when the rehearsals were starting for 9 o'clock, for us, it was like 3 o'clock in the morning for Stu.
Yep.
Or 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
Jess.
I'm doing good. I'm not as tired as you guys are. I guess that's quite lucky of me. But I am seriously suffering from post-Eurovision depression. So, yeah.
Well, you know the cure for that, Jess.
Exactly.
Talking about Eurovision. Let's do it.
Exactly.
We've got
Reminiscing.
Tacom. How you doing, Tacom? Thank you very much for watching us over the past couple of weeks. Congoose, you're saying Greece back in the top 10? Yes, we will be talking about that tonight. Great result for Greece. ESC Manga, hello to you. Francesco, hello. Rye Bailey, lots of drama on Twitter. If this is about... is the drama about... What's the drama about?
Måneskin, I think. It's the... Yeah, it's in the comments. Yes.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to pay that any mind tonight because it's all been...
It's been resolved now.
Yeah.
Baseless accusations.
Yeah. It was nothing to begin with.
Yep.
Lydia, hey, it still hasn't fully registered with you that Italy have won. You're so happy. Euroboy 4, my voice is getting better. It's better than it was this morning. So hopefully tomorrow it'll be back to normal. Matteo, you're saying it's been a fantastic show from France to Ukraine. You loved every single song. The quality of music and songs this year has been incredible. Let's start with that because it's such a great place to start. Who's going to start?
As far as the results go, this is probably the best I could have asked for. We see so much diversity in the top 10, way more than I think anybody was expecting. And you know, generally speaking, with the favorites, all of them placed pretty well. And you know, in the end, it was Italy that took it. So it was, you know, it was just really great to see because obviously an Italian victory has been a long time. It's been a long time coming. And yeah, especially to see how many non-English songs, like out of the top 5, 4 of them are not in English, and like I don't think any of us expected to see something like that. So I'm just super happy. I really have I might have one complaint, but everything else is I'm very happy with.
What's your complaint? Now I'm curious to know.
We'll get to it.
Okay.
Oh, okay. I mean, you're saying about the 4 non-English songs in the top 5. I mean, this just shows how unpredictable Eurovision is, and it was such a tough year to call. If you'd have said 2 years ago, would we ever get 4 English songs, or even in the top 3 non-English songs in the top 3, we all would have said no, probably. And it's such a good thing for the Eurovision movement, I think. Hopefully we will see a knock-on effect, and we will see more countries performing in their national language next year. Hopefully we'll see a bit more rock as well in Italy. We will see. We've got Simple Things. Hello to you, Irsi Manga. He said he deserves to be in the top 10. I'm sure we will talk about that. We've got Paola Balbo. Hello, we love you too. Mwah. Blowing you a kiss. Hayes Use from Ciao, Italia. Thank you so much. If you're a new subscriber of ours as well, then thank you so much for subscribing. We can't wait to be with you guys on the journey to Italy 2022. Zeus, tell us, which city do you think it will be in? Because I've seen there's already countries that are putting their bids or starting to talk about hosting the contest. Morton V, you think it'll be in Rome? Maybe. We probably won't find out until August, September.
Yeah.
Euroboy 4, we love you. Thank you so much. Hayley Fern, you're not suffering from post-Eurovision depression. Good. You're getting fed up of us doing badly year after year. You want to be able to watch contests and be excited that we could win like in 2011.
Yeah.
From the UK, Lee, and we will shortly be talking about the 0 points for the UK. Guys, so many of you in the live chat, guys, I can't keep up. Rye Bailey, you're shocked that Malta was 7th. Lee, you're saying congratulations to Italy. Amazing that a rock song has once again won Eurovision. Francesco, I've just lost your comment. You were loving the diversity. Matteo, you'd like Venice, but it's practically impossible. would we all have to like travel around on gondolas? We used to Ubers at Eurovision. Let's have a look. John Johnson, you love non-English songs at the top. Yes, me too. Red Trance wants Clara to jump. I think that's probably from your reaction when Italy...
Yeah. I'm not gonna jump because there's not much space here. I'm not at home. I'm visiting, so I don't want to destroy this house.
We almost destroyed the press center, so
yes,
with our reaction.
Juve Forza, hello to you. Thank you for watching. Welcome to Italy. We can't wait to be there.
Yes.
We'll be there tomorrow if we could. We're so excited. Juice, just a note to
yes, he tested negative.
So guys, we've spoken a lot about Italy winning, but we obviously have to start with that because it was the main news of the night, and we were all so excited about Italy's win. Stu, I'm going to come to you because I know that you're a big fan of you're a big fan of Sanremo and Italian music generally, but you were a big supporter of Måneskin this year. How were you feeling on Saturday night when the results were coming in?
Well, but before the results came, obviously during the show, it just felt magical watching them perform. And the thing that I had wondered is, because, we talk about how coming later on in the running order is a good thing, but I felt like it almost might have been a little too late originally before the show actually started, because I was wondering if maybe people would be feeling a bit fatigued, at least if they had been watching from the start. But as soon as they came on, there was just a completely different energy. They felt like superstars. And as I said to Lydia one time, it would be really funny if the show just kind of felt like a series of opening acts for Måneskin at the end. But yeah, it's just
the Flow Rider.
Yes,
but yeah, no, it was really incredible to see. And then as the results were coming in, because we had already seen some really great results, I was so happy. So happy to see Ukraine in the top 5. I did not think that was going to be the case. I thought it was going to be a repeat of Kaino, where it would be vastly underappreciated by the juries, but it wasn't. It was actually 9th, and I'm totally fine with that. And I love that it was such a daring song. I'll get into more detail about it later. But anyway, then when Italy took the lead, it was just it seemed like this was going to be it, and that we were finally going to see an Italian victory.
Jess, because you I think you changed your opinion over the course of the 2 weeks you saw the rehearsal. You maybe weren't such a big fan, but how are you feeling after the win on Saturday?
I'm actually feeling very happy. I'm happy for Måneskin and for Italy, and I'm kind of happy for Rock. The Rock is now kind of shining on the Eurovision stage, thanks to Italy and Finland as well. I think it was a very well-deserved win. They easily had the best performance and the best staging of the night, in my opinion. And realistically speaking, I don't think I could see any other country winning but them, even if I wanted another one to win. But yeah, it just kind of seemed, I mean, at the beginning of the voting, they were kind of not doing too well with the juries. So I was a little bit worried for them that they were not going to pull it off. But then as soon as that televote came in, for me, it was all over. It was Italy. And I'm happy. Maybe not as happy as you guys, jumping up and down, but I'm happy.
I don't know why you think we were happy. I mean, we took it all in our stride. Clara, it was kind of cemented for, I think, all three of us at the top when we watched the very first rehearsal.
Yes, indeed.
Center.
Yeah, I remember we went running to do the reaction because we knew, like, we had this feeling like this is winning material. And I think we were saying, I think we just watched the winner during the first rehearsal because it was so awesome. And for me, it was very surprising how many, how the audience really responded to rock music on Saturday night, because actually Finland came fourth in the televote and Italy first. So that's amazing. We clearly need more rock music in Eurovision.
Good rock music.
Good rock music in Eurovision.
Which is definitely what we got this year. Tommy, this probably Måneskin probably wouldn't be your normal taste in Eurovision songs or music, but I know that you were another Italy stan this year.
Yeah, I'm not a rock fan typically, and after they had won San Remo and I'd listened to it, I kind of disregarded it immediately. So the thing about me this year is I'm eating my words constantly because I was very wrong about Måneskin. Like Clara said, as soon as we saw the first rehearsal, it was like, wow, these are superstars. They are at a standard like above Eurovision, you know, which is a pretty high standard, and they just blew us all away. And I'm really happy for them because they're genuinely nice people and they're very humble, and yeah, I just think they're amazing and they had an amazing song, and they deserved it 100%.
Yes.
I just find it so exciting because obviously we were fortunate enough to meet them in Rotterdam, and you get a real sense of these guys are so young, they're not quite sure, you know, they looked a little bit lost kind of, and a bit shy and a bit vulnerable kind of in this huge in this huge Eurovision environment. And it just makes it all the more special for me because I think their careers are just going to go crazy now. And I can't think of anyone there that deserves it more. And they've been so humble about everything all the way through. There's been no arrogance. You know, there's been no kind of dirty tricks. They've taken part fairly. They've, they've just gone out there and done what they do best. And it's opened them up to a massive, massive audience. And that is really special for me.
Yeah, I love that they were so down to earth. I remember that I had my COVID negative, my antigen test at the same time as Måneskin. And I remember waiting for my test result, and Victoria was sitting in the chair next to me, and we started talking. And she's so nice, she's so down to earth, and she was just like super happy to be there. They were all really happy to be there, and I told her it's so good to see a woman being so outspoken in a band that's clearly all men, and like how she controls the whole narrative of the band and how she takes the whole responsibility of the press conferences and the interviews. It's just amazing because I think she's 20 or 22, and the matureness she's showing, how she manages the band, it's amazing. It's incredible.
Yeah, and you know what else has been amazing to see the support that they've had, not only from the Italian public and Italian fans, but also the Eurovision community, because this is not a typical Euro fans song. You know, it's not a sparkly woman in a short dress singing a pop song. And there was so much support for these guys in the press centre. If you speak to any of the fans waiting to go inside for the shows, everyone was talking about Italy. It was just a magical effort for me. But you know, it wasn't. But I was going to say it was kind of a 2-horse race as well, because obviously we had France in second place, and I was always very torn during the whole Eurovision fortnight, because you'd watch Måneskin and think, oh, this is a winning performance, and then you'd watch Barbara Pravi and think, oh god, this looks like a winning performance too. Like, where do we go with this? What's going to happen? And it was very close. You know, it wasn't a landslide win. I think it was only
29
points, 25 points different. So we have to give a big shout out to France and Barbara Pravi as well, because another amazing job with a very, very magical song. And it could have won, guys, right?
Yeah, totally. I mean, in another year, this would have been the one. And it really did, like, thinking back to January when those songs were released, it really had this, you know, such a unique quality. And, you know, there was a period of time when other songs were being released and the hype was going more towards them. But I'm glad that things really rebounded afterwards. And, you know, what we got was class. We got something that was authentic and performed excellently. So I'm just very pleased. Obviously, you know, it might be a little bit of a shame that they didn't take the win, but we have a great winner, and it was so close. And the fact that, you know, Barbara as a songwriter has won in Junior Eurovision and has placed second, being the runner-up this year, I think that's you know, an incredible accomplishment, and I hope that she and her team are proud.
Yeah, and we have to say that we were with some of the French press in the press centre for most of the fortnight that we were there, and they took Italy's win so graciously. They were so happy with coming second. It was a huge result for them. It's always going to be difficult when you've been waiting so long for a win and then come so close. But the way that the French press took it, and I know some of you are going to say that the whole issue to do with the drugs that we talked about started in French press, but not with the guys that we were with. They were proper Eurovision fan press. They weren't from a national tabloid or anything like that. And they were really congratulatory for Italy, and they were really happy for Italy's win. I am just going to go to live chat because, guys, it's going off in there, and I can see lots of Italian names as well, which is fantastic. All the Italians in the live chat, I want to know, how did you celebrate Måneskin's win on Saturday? Tell us what your reaction is. I can also see some people saying where they think the contest is going to be held. I can see lots of people saying Rome. So many comments. I'm going to try and pull out some of them. Let's have a look. Francesco, you were shocked that Bulgaria got so few votes. Victoria didn't deserve only 30 points. I have to say, I agree with that.
Me too.
But that's what the juries are for. And to be honest, I think the audience responded to what they were feeling inside. And in moments of crisis, of a pandemic, people want to forget and want to, like, they don't want to sit with their feelings. And maybe it was the wrong year for Victoria to bring such a beautiful song, because what clearly the voting is showing is that people wanted to party, to rave, to bang their heads in the air and, like, forget. And it was not maybe the most optimal year to bring a beautiful ballad.
But with that, you're also kind of discounting France, because France came third in the televote, which you know, that was above Finland. But obviously, you know, like the first two, Italy and Ukraine, they were definitely of a different vibe. But you know, that also kind of explains why maybe, you know, Bulgaria would had that been more of a standout, would have probably earned more public points. Because, you know, France was such a big moment, and it was bringing that kind of energy. Obviously, you know, they're not really comparable songs, but as far as like the overall feeling, they're comparable on one level.
But Andy, Tommy, and I did find something very interesting, is that the song was sped at the end. The song sped, and they were so that gave it more dynamism and more of a and it was funny because it was paired with Azerbaijan, it also speeds at the end. And which was the other one?
Ukraine. It was 3 songs in a row, and it is so rare in itself to have a song that speeds up as it progresses. And then we got 3, and I've always wondered if that was intentional or whether they even realized that they put those 3 songs in a row. But 3 songs with very kind of climatic endings.
So in that way, that frees Barbara a little bit from like your typical classical ballad.
Yeah,
that's my opinion, of course.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to say that talking about Bulgaria, I mean, her performance really, really touched me. I thought, and I wasn't touched very much during the last 2 weeks for obvious reasons, but I just thought it was beautiful to watch, and her vocals while she was performing it and the raw emotion that she was giving. It did surprise me. I thought that Bulgaria was going to do a lot better in the televote, but it's been such a great year that, you know, any other year it might have done fantastically. It really demonstrates the quality of the songs that we had this year. I'm just going to go to the comments. We've got Mark Bugard, who, if I remember correctly, is from Switzerland. So we'll be talking about Gjon's Tears shortly. You think Milan would be the ideal city to host Eurovision 2022? I mean, I'll be
Switzerland.
I don't really care where in Italy it is.
Me neither.
Yeah, it's like give me the pick.
It's just being there will be amazing.
Yes, indeed.
You're talking about Måneskin, saying their charisma is insane. Really, really lovely guys. Hello to Akina. Ciao from Italy. Thank you for your support, Akina. Thank you for watching our videos and for joining us tonight. Euroboy 4 saying hopefully countries like Andorra will return next year.
I think Andorra already said no.
Yeah.
Is that an official statement from them? I hadn't seen. I'd seen something on social media, but I hadn't seen an official source.
Which, if we've learned anything, is important to remember.
Yeah. Matteo, you're saying, oh, imagine a blind what a Måneskin.
I'll buy a ticket for those.
Is the artists do form friendships, and you know, you do see collaborations after Eurovision, and there's great camaraderie. You saw that with James Newman when he got his 0 points. You know, the camaraderie between the artists backstage is fantastic. So yeah, maybe that will be a collab that could happen. Let's have a look. Jake Mason, you're saying you were upset by the Malta televote. It was maybe a surprise to me as well. The running order was all over the place. I would hate to be the person that has to choose the running order.
Yeah.
To be honest, I don't know where I would start.
Yeah, because you're always going to make somebody happy and somebody not happy, so it's very difficult.
Absolutely, and it's even harder in the final because that's when you've weeded out the weaker songs from the semifinal, and there's so many more songs that it's just someone is going to get in those like unfavorable spots, and because we haven't seen, you know, winners in that second spot or that 16th spot until there's something that's like a real showstopper that like gets in there. I don't know. I guess it's also one of those things that's a little bit of like a self-fulfilling prophecy, because the producers might be thinking about that, you know, like why put a favorable song in these statistically low scoring spots, because that seems like more intentional than you know, putting them later. I don't know. It's a difficult decision, to say the least.
And I guess you can look at it in that, you know, Malta unfortunately had drawn first half in the competition. Had they drawn second half, they might have been given a really favourable spot. So it really does come down a lot to where the countries draw first half and second half, and who you're paired with in those halves of the final. But I know a lot of Maltese fans were really disappointed. They felt they'd been done dirty with their running order. For me, Destiny's Song was a song that wouldn't necessarily be affected by the running order because it was so powerful on stage. And hell, guys, you got a 7th position. That's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
And you've got your highest score in Eurovision ever. So that's something too.
But is it also the highest score since Chiara, which was like 2nd?
Yeah, I think so. Yes, indeed.
Yeah. So be happy, damn it.
Yes. You're not Spain. Yes.
I won't mention the UK at this point. Let's have a look. Takom, you're saying from the moment you saw Måneskin San Remo performance, you're in love with the song. When you got to know them, they started the rehearsals, you're more and more convinced they could actually win. Well, your wish came true. Let's have a look. Neil Error, you think many people loved Italy and Finland because they brought a concert vibe. Really valid point, actually.
I didn't think of that.
Many people haven't been to concerts for a long time. Very, very true. I hadn't considered it, but I mean, Eurovision in itself was a fantastic show. You felt like you were you were there. I have since come back, and I never do this, but I've actually rewatched the show on TV. And the last time
Me too.
a full run through of the show on TV was, I think, 2015 probably.
Oh wow!
I still have to watch it again, and I really want to watch it. I had planned it for today, but I spent the whole day sleeping, so I will do it tomorrow. I promise I will watch it tomorrow, the whole show.
Yusuf, thank you for the concern. It's coming back, as you can hear. So tomorrow, I'm sure we'll be back to normal. Francesco, Amadeo. Oh, thank you. It was genuine. I mean, we were literally over the moon. At one point, I had to tell Tommy to move out of the way.
Yeah, you can see that in the video. I'm like, okay.
Oh, is Andy a fangirl? Is Andy a wild fangirl?
No, he's more like a football, like, you know, when someone scores a goal in football and they go like, wow, yeah.
And it was kind of strange because we were all watching different screens, so we were probably just going to go.
I'm worried about hurting Tommy, and I've always got health and safety at the forefront of my mind. I was like, Tommy, like when the boys were coming, like, Tommy, you might need to just move back a little bit because I thought I'm going to erupt. Let's have a look. Zeus. So I when I did a YouTube search, I saw Måneskin come up with X Factor, and I thought Måneskin haven't done X Factor. This is something that I never knew. So I have to go and watch their performances. They must have been so young, like 16, 17?
18, probably.
18?
Yeah, 20, 22. 22 is the age that I've seen thrown around with associated with them. I did see their performance, which I believe was from X Factor Italy, of The Killers. Somebody told me.
Oh God, I would love that.
Great song.
I must go and check these. Must go and check these out. Let's say hello to David Concalves. Hello to you. Are you glad everything about Italy is over? Yes, conversation finished.
Yeah.
Done. Now we can properly. We were already celebrating Italy. We didn't pay much attention to it, but unfortunately, some people love to stir the pot a little bit and love to cause a little bit of drama. And this really isn't the year to do that, because we've just witnessed the most amazing win and the most amazing contest put on in the most challenging of times. So we're going to be celebrating that. Hey, Nicola, Serbia was robbed by the juries.
I absolutely agree. And the televote placed Serbia 9th. So I was very surprised that Serbia came so low because I had them in my top 10. But I'm glad to see that Europe's personal taste is also wants to have fun and have like a dancing number and explosion of hair and glitter.
Yeah. Now, hopefully, if this works, I can bring up the scoreboard and all credit to the BBC for this graphic. It's not our own graphic; it is courtesy of the BBC. So we have to go to the bottom of the scoreboard, and I've just seen a comment about it. Let's go there. The UK, the 0 points. How are we feeling about that, guys? Was it a huge surprise?
No.
I mean, for me, initially, I was a bit shocked because I thought James gave a good performance that was worthy of points. But the more that I kind of think about it, the more I kind of see that James had a good song, but not a great song. He had a good performance, but not a great performance. And ultimately, if you want to get in that top 10 with the juries and televoters, you have to be better than just good. So I understand our 0 points. I do kind of somewhat agree with it, and I'm hoping that this will give us a kick up the backside to make changes next year to get us off the bottom of the scoreboard.
You made a really valid point because you have to be better than 16 other songs in the final. And, you know, as much respect as I have for Jay, he's a very, very talented songwriter. Embers was a good track. It was something that I was proud to support, being a Brit. It's a song that I like listening to on the radio. Did I enjoy seeing it performed so much live on stage? Not so much. And that was where it was lost for me. If it was a music video contest, then maybe, you know, it would have done better as a song. However, I'm always sad to see anyone get 0 points. But so much respect for him and how he dealt with it and how all of the arena and the audience, and he got his moment to celebrate. And similarly with Jendrik and Blas and Jongu as well. also got the 0 points in the televotes. I think it will be a lesson learned, hopefully, for BMG, the record label, who are managing the UK at Eurovision at the moment. It's their first year. Hopefully they will learn from it. Hopefully there will be more money for staging, because you also need great staging as well. And we've seen countries throw so much at their staging this year, but it doesn't always have to be extravagant and over the top. And that's always the point that I will make. Bulgaria's staging was beautiful, and it was very simply done. Ukraine's staging didn't have many amazing effects or anything. It was a pre-built stage, and they were moving, and they had these ring lights, and a bit of sand. I think it was sand, actually. I've never asked. It was sand.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, so it's just about getting the right idea. But for a song like Embers, it did need big staging. We got the pyro. I don't think the pyro was fantastic to see. I don't think it was necessarily in the right places. But yeah, hopefully lesson learned. Stu?
I think the biggest lesson here is that if you're coming to Eurovision, you have to play to win. Which is not necessarily the same thing that we were saying, last time this happened. Last time we were saying, come in with a respectable song because everything else just felt embarrassing. And this, from a musical point of view, wasn't embarrassing. It's a good song. I agree with that. But yeah, as Jess pointed out, you can't just be good. You have to be great. You have to take risks. You have to, as Kate from Ukraine put it, I'm paraphrasing here, but in an interview that she did, she was explaining how there were lots of people who absolutely loved Shum, and then there were tons of other people who hated it, and they would spread how much they hated it on the internet. And for her, she would much prefer that because it would be worse if somebody were to turn it on and say, "Oh, this is nice," and then turn it off, because then they forget about it. So that's the first big lesson, and then the second one is that staging matters. A song that has brass instruments does not need big, giant brass trumpets. It's
redundant.
It's redundant, yeah. Especially when you gave it to the dancers already, and it just doesn't look good. It's not a good aesthetic. So I'm sorry. I know that's very critical, but in this case, like, we've seen great songs get killed by bad staging. This was an average to good song that did not have good staging. So how anybody could have expected anything else, I don't know.
You've made all of the good points there. Absolutely.
Well, I don't think I've got anything to add to that. But yeah, it's. I will just say once again, huge respect to James, how he's dealt with it, not only at the show but since. I don't know if any of you have seen, but he did have a little snapback at Piers Morgan as well, who's not a man that I respect hugely. So good on you, James.
What did he say?
It was. I think Piers Morgan was just saying how crap his song was and how crap the form.
Okay.
I've got it. I'd love to read this out because it's just so delicious. So in a tweet, Piers Morgan says the UK didn't get null points in the Eurovision Song Contest because of some sinister revenge for Brexit. We got null point because we had a crap song performed by a crap singer who gave a crap performance. End. And then James' response is, "Hey Piers, sorry you didn't like the song. At least I didn't storm out. #Eurovision."
Whoa! Yes, own it.
And that's how you come back.
Let's have a look. I'm just going to go back to some comments. Hey, who have we got here? We've got Zeus. You're saying you're 49 years old. You love rock music. You're waiting for a real Italian band as Måneskin for a long time. You're proud that they've now got an important window in Europe. I mean, what an amazing career they've got ahead of them now with this new audience who wouldn't have known them outside of Italy. Now everyone knows who Måneskin are.
Someone made a really good point in the comments, not on this video, but another one, about Italy having to. It was time for Italy to win because they bring so much diversity to the contest. They bring, and everything that they bring is good quality. They bring good jazz. They bring good pop. They bring good opera. And
they brought Mahmood.
Yes, they brought good hip hop. And this was just the icing on the cake. So how is Italy going to get to keep the bar higher and higher each year? It was about time for them to win.
Yeah, and everyone always, I sometimes get accused of, why do you always love everything that Italy does? Because everything that Italy has done at Eurovision has been class. You know, like everything about Italy is classy to me. The clothes you wear, the fashion, the food, you know, the music is some of the best music. And I've said this for years, you know, even when I've been in countries like Croatia or Slovenia on holiday and I hear the Italian music played on the radios there, it's just so melodic to me. The language is beautiful. The melodies are beautiful.
And their songs never get confused with someone else's. Nobody ever compares Italy to somebody else who's there that year. They always stand out.
Yes, and that's why, you know, it possibly shouldn't have taken this long for us to have an Italian win, but I'm just so happy that we have it finally. And let's use that time to say hello to Francesca Sant'Ambrogio from Italy. Ciao to you. Let's have a look. Darko Lukac, you didn't like Malta this year. You thought it was generic and boring, but you liked her personality. She's an amazing. Someone else with a huge career ahead of them is Destiny from Malta. I mean, I was going to say what a girl, but what a woman. She came out onto that stage as a woman, but she's only 18. She had a lot of pressure heaped on her as well, which was unfortunate because for someone my age, that's a lot to handle. But for an 18-year-old, to have that intense pressure kind of piled on them. And Stuart, I know you made a comment earlier about, you know, all she was ever asked was about being top in the odds. And, you know, how does she feel about that? And it's the unfortunate side to Eurovision that you're always going to get asked those kind of questions. But I think she will look back on this experience and she will see what an amazing job she's done. She's put up with a lot of negativity from Eurovision fans about her outfit, about her staging, and her attitude to that has always been so good. And just brush it off, you know, je me casse. I've really admired that in her, and I don't think this will be the last time that we see Destiny at Eurovision.
Hopefully not.
She will be back. Let me have a look. Joanne Johnson, you would love to see Destiny return to Eurovision. I think she were. Well, let's talk about these guys now, actually. Go A, because I think all of us were big fans of Go A's song this year. Right? They came fifth. A huge televote score as well. Really did really well. They were seen as a potential winner as well. They were in the betting odds. I think they were in the top 5. You know, we would have been down for a Ukrainian win as well. Who do I not want to talk about this, Stuart? So let's go. I'm joking. Go on, I can see you bursting.
I mean, I've already kind of said a lot of great things, but this was the thing that made me happiest, because it's a style of music that I like raised myself on, not necessarily like folk and techno/trance, whatever you want to call it, but electronic music overall. And with that element of folk involved with it, with the white voice, I was extremely skeptical. I didn't think that everybody was going to get it, and I was so happy that I was wrong, because people loved it. And I'm not mad about the jury score like other people are. They came 9th, which is fantastic. Sure, it wasn't the favorite, and that it's exactly as they said. They put out a song that people either love or they hate, and that what we saw in the jury score was that more people loved it than hated it, and I'm so happy about that. Props to them. Props to everyone. Another thing that I really love is we saw so many participants this year who loved the song too, and it was just such a unique experience, and fantastic. That's all I can say.
I love the way that. Sorry, go to me.
No, you go.
I love how the best way to describe Go A is an experience.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah,
you can go.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, and I respect them so much because they have so much artistry and creativity and uniqueness, and they maintain so much professionalism throughout their 2 weeks when they had like some difficult things to contend with, including like Kate's coronavirus test scare and an incident where they had a problem with the in-ear feedback during the dress rehearsal the jury rehearsal for their semi-final, and they came back from it so well. They were just professionals from beginning to end. And their staging was just probably one of the most inventive stagings that I've seen in a long time. So yeah, props for Go A.
And Kate was an absolute queen on stage as well. If anyone owns a performance, it's her. I mean, she's fantastic. So much talent in that band as a whole, actually, that they were a real joy to watch. And you know, they were one of the ones where I would always have to stand up to watch the performance. It just really excited me. We've got Sweet GGB who's saying, "What about Manizha? She was fantastic." And we have to say, you know, she got a top 10 placing. I think, was she ninth?
Ninth,
okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ninth. Which is a huge result for her. Someone that didn't necessarily get the support that she deserved from back home, but did get a lot of support around Europe. She had a very, very strong, powerful message, very charismatic performance, and an absolute joy to meet her as well. Such a huge personality.
And fun fact, she came 8th with the juries and 8th with the televote.
Ah, interesting.
I'm so terrible at maths. I never understand how that could then mean that she comes ninth, but I'm sure there's like a really simple explanation for that. Someone said that Albania in the semi-finals came ninth in.
I think it was 9th and 10th. I don't remember which one was which, but yeah, it just has to do with disparity, which is obviously, you know, like this becomes such a discussion point, and everybody you know thinks so and so was robbed by one side or another. But honestly, this is part of what makes Eurovision exciting. And yes, like especially the fact that it was only a 5-point difference between Norway and Croatia. I think it does cement the fact that had that song been in semifinal 2, it would have made it through.
Yeah.
So let's talk about maybe some of our surprises, and I'm going to bring the graphic up because I'm probably going to have to think about this again. But were there any countries kind of in the final that surprised you in terms of their placing? Jess, I'm going to come to you first.
So for me, I talking about the televote, I was very surprised that Finland did as well as they did. I totally wasn't expecting that kind of high score from them. I'm happy for them, but it was unexpected. And the same with France. I always saw France as being a jury song, and I didn't see it as much of a televote song. So when they got a huge televote score, I was happy but surprised. I think for me, those would be my 2 biggest surprises. Maybe also Belgium only getting 3 points from the televoters. I mean, I knew that it would never appeal to them that much, but 3 points, come on. It was worth more than that.
Well, we have got a comment of someone just saying that they've been playing. I'm just trying to find your comment, saying that they've been playing the wrong place 10 times today. I can't find the comment. I just saw it, so I'm so sorry that I can't pull it up on the screen. But whoever you are that's been listening to the wrong place, Jess is with you on that. She really liked the song and the performance. Tommy, any big surprises for you in the final place?
One of the biggest surprises for me was San Marino coming so far down in the running in the final placement. I just didn't expect that at all. I thought it would be like near the top of the public vote, especially given its position as the last song. I thought it would be fresh in people's memories, and it was so high energy. They had the Flo Rida factor, and I just don't know what went wrong. It's really surprising to me, especially like Zenit has given so much and built her fan base over the past year with her freaky trip to Rotterdam. So yeah, that just kind of blew me away. I'm not sure how to explain that one.
I have a feeling that it also blew Zenit away because I think she maybe had herself down as a possible winner of the show. And there's nothing wrong with that attitude because, as Stuart said earlier, you have to play it to win it. But I think she was probably shocked. But you know, it was a great way to end the final and to open the semi-final as well. But yeah, I agree with you on that. I was really surprised that it finished so low. Maybe understandably with the juries, but the televote surprised me more. I thought it would have got a much bigger televote score. But maybe it's too Eurovision for Eurovision nowadays.
And it also proves that you don't need a super big name to make it big on Eurovision, because I remember I was talking with someone on YouTube saying, well, then why don't all of the countries bring a big pop star or a huge star? And fame really doesn't mean that people will like your song. It's actually, this is what I like about Eurovision. You actually have to prove that you have a good song, and that not only a name, like signing your name to a performance, is going to make it or break it.
Yeah, and this is again what really annoyed me about this, because so much of the discussion was around Flowrider, and when I actually saw the full rehearsals, because I missed the first few times because it was first thing in the morning, so it was one of the ones that was just too early for me to catch. Nobody was talking about the staging. The staging, I'm sorry, it was all over the place. The colors were all over the place. There wasn't a clear focal point. It wasn't TV ready. And then it also showed that Flowrider had not been there for the early rehearsals because he didn't know where the cameras were. So, I mean, I do think that this is going to be a lesson for everyone. Like, don't get disillusioned by the names, because I even think that the production let this get to them too, and that's why they were chosen as both the opener and the closer. Whereas, like, that didn't really translate to good points. And yeah, like, it was a good pop song, and you know, Sunit is a queen, and it had a lot of good elements going for it. And I do think, like, this was much more of a dampener than a thing that really elevated it. So, yeah.
I love this comment. Aurelio, Flowrider was an artificial parachuting nobody asked for. Well, it just goes, you know, a lot of people say in the UK, oh, you need to send a big name, you need to send a big name. Well, San Marino sent Flowrider and they only came in 20 seconds. So I agree, it's not always the name. And I think, you know, we said, I think a few days before Flowrider, or a few days after he turned up, you know, I'm not sure that he really added to it. And in terms of the, you know, nothing against Flowrider, he's an amazing artist, but I don't think he added to that song apart from the name itself. It would have been a great opportunity to showcase the talent of the guy that was doing it during rehearsals, you know. What an amazing audience that would have been for him to step out in the Eurovision final and perform in front of 200 million people.
But also to
Don Diggy, I'm going to call him, but I don't know if that is his name.
That is his name.
Don't
Or his
your
stage name, at least.
But I also think, like, you know, all that aside, I think that the results overall, this is probably the biggest surprise for me, is the fact that pop music overall was kind of forgotten about. Like, the most celebrated songs were songs that were not neatly fitting into pop music, and because even, like, you know, Gjon's Tears came third, and that is it's a pop ballad, but it has this different kind of cinematic build to it, and it wasn't like Cyprus, it wasn't like San Marino, it wasn't like Azerbaijan, it wasn't like Israel. The only one that you know did really well was Destiny. And I think that goes to show you that, you know, she had a great presence and a great voice. I mean, yes, it wasn't that great with the televote, but I do think that the fact that we had all this, you know, countries doing different things and you know, providing a unique element to their Eurovision performance, I think that really drew those votes away from songs that would have done well in the days of, like, Eleni Foureira.
I agree.
Let's say hello to Leo Magnuson. How do you handle a post-Eurovision depression? Well, I'll tell you what you do.
Joining.
You subscribe to Eurovoxx and you join us for our live videos, and we'll be talking about Eurovision all the time. So it's almost like it never ended.
Otherwise, we get to watch the live on tape videos next Saturday night.
Yeah, I almost forgot about that. Yeah.
I'm not sure how excited I am about seeing the live on tapes. No,
I'm very excited.
Some of them could be quite different to what we saw in Rotterdam.
Yeah.
So I'd be curious to see the differences.
And I'm also thinking some of them are going to be better than the Rotterdam performance.
Yeah.
Exactly what I was thinking.
It'd be like hearing a demo version of a song that I already love. I don't know.
Oh, but sometimes it's great though. Have you guys heard the demo of Toxic? That was written, like, Toxic for Britney Spears, but it was sung by the original songwriter. It's just there's something that's really pure about listening to a demo. I don't know. I like that.
I like listening to demos too, because then you hear, like, the rawness, where it comes from. Like, it's a skeleton, and then the fame was built on this skeleton. But if there was no skeleton to build on, you know, it would be all like wobbly.
Yeah.
Oh, well, we've got an interesting comment. You really wonder how Greece's live on tape was.
Oh, we'll see.
Well, let's talk about Greece actually, because Greece back in the top 10 after quite
10
a while.
years. Someone
Probably
said
longer than I can remember. It might
The
be
last time was 2013.
8 years.
Well, 8 years.
Wow.
What a fantastic! I mean, we were I can't remember what everyone else's opinion was, but I always said that Greece was looking at a top 10 this year with Stefania, because I know that there's been criticism of the staging and the green screen, and we've seen kind of some run-throughs where it maybe didn't work as well, and maybe even in the grand final performance. However, that would not have harmed their chances at all in any way, because Stefania was the star on that stage, not the green screen, not the dancers. She's another one, a young artist who's only 18, who's showing star quality on stage, and that's what got Greece this great result, in my opinion. Loved it, loved watching her. She's another artist that I would love to see back in Eurovision, and I have a feeling that we may do. But guys, thoughts on Greece's 10th placing?
I had her actually higher up. I had her on my number 7, because I thought it was good. All of her performances, I would not be able to tell what was a rehearsal, what was the second rehearsal, and what was the actual final performance, because she was flawless. From like, her level of performance was exactly the same from the beginning to the end of the contest, and those have been like 2 weeks of great rehearsals.
Yeah, I mean, I was a bit doubtful because the green screen wasn't going as planned. But I always recognized that Stefania was bringing it vocally. And even though, like, I still felt like it was a little bit stiff, but that's kind of one of the compromises you make for this kind of, staging where you have to be on certain marks. And there was even like a moment where she had to wink at the exact moment. So I'm at least happy that they did well. And yeah, like, she at least was doing everything that she needed to do to bring it vocally.
Cool. Before, apparently she has said that she wants to go back to Eurovision soon.
Good for her.
Yeah, I would love to see her back. For me, she'd be one of those artists that would come back and she'd win it next time. She's that special in my mind. Greece. Jess, what did you think of this top 10?
I think it was well deserved, and I always believed that Stefania would be the one to get Greece back in the top 10. Vocally, she brought it in every kind of performance on stage that she did, whether it was in the live shows or rehearsals. I loved the staging. I thought it was great, and I feel like for the final, it all came together nicely when it really mattered, which was obviously good to see. So yeah, I'm happy for Greece, happy for Stefania. Yeah.
Last dance.
Last words on Greece.
We're gonna keep dancing. It's a shame that Euroclub didn't happen this year. I think we've missed dancing, going crazy to this song.
If I wonder, you're saying you preferred Stefania to Katerina in 2019. Well, two very different songs as well, very different styles. Was this Oi Oi Emin? You're saying Stefania winked for her grandmother. That's why she kept winking to make sure her granny saw.
That's true.
That is very sweet. And Silma on Mars, yes, actually, she's half Dutch, so she could go for the Netherlands as well. Oh, wouldn't it be amazing if she could do like both countries
at the same time?
Wow. Is that
even allowed?
Does anyone know if that's allowed?
Probably not.
Because you can have songwriters.
Yeah, but songwriters it's different because the work is done beforehand. And like, there are staging directors that work with multiple countries. Oh, am I dropping out?
Yes.
You are dropping out a bit. Okay. So we'll move on to Switzerland. So Switzerland obviously came first in the jury votes. And does anyone know where they came in the televoting in the end?
Yes, 6th.
6. So a fantastic result for Gjon's Tears. I mean, one of the early favourites this year. And then he stepped on stage for the first time in Rotterdam, maybe got a bit of criticism, or people didn't really understand the staging concept. I think it's one of those cases where we were just expecting to see pretty much the music video in the background with lots of starry universe, and maybe people were a bit shocked about that. But a fantastic performance from him vocally. Some people didn't like the choreography and the dancing, but in the end, for me, it actually grown on me, and I think it worked really well. And I think for the impact on the TV screen, it obviously worked because he came 6th in the televote. So a great package. I I'll rephrase that. Sorry. So all around, it was the whole package. But yeah, Tommy, Switzerland.
Yeah, Switzerland. I was on board with that staging from day one. I thought it was so fantastic and so dramatic, like the playing on light and dark and shadows and light. Yeah, his vocals were just outstanding every single time. He never faltered. He always looked comfortable. He never looked uncomfortable with the choreography, even though people said maybe it wasn't natural to him, but he never looked uncomfortable with it. The cinematography and those really like precise shots of like his hands and various things, it was just so dramatic, and it lent itself really well to the message of the song and the drama of the song. So yeah, I thought he was going to come third overall actually, but yeah, well deserved jury winner, and I'm really happy for him.
Stu,
actually, I think him sitting at a piano on a recreation of the music video would have actually done worse. So
I think so.
I agree. I agree. And Stu, you were a fan of the staging when you first saw it.
Yes, absolutely. It was. I always felt like it was really moving. And yeah, like in the show when we were watching those results come in, and it came down to Italy and Italy, I was already happy because I'm like, sure, both countries that I would love to go to. Obviously, Switzerland is a bit more expensive, but no, he totally deserved it. And yeah, I'm very happy to see that he won the jury vote. It was a beautiful performance. I don't know if you guys noticed during the jury show, but I think that one of the wheels on the more vertical part was like not locked because it kind of shifted and he was on an angle, but that didn't faze him. He kept going. Yeah, I don't know. I was really happy. I really like Gjon as a performer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and he's out off the stage. He's such a fantastic guy to speak to as well. Such a lovely, down to earth, humble guy with an amazing talent as well. I mean, his voice literally melts me every time he sings. And just while we're throwing in our COVID test, I got my COVID test done next to Gjon's tears as well. And I was a bit too shy to talk to him because I thought he looked focused. It was just before, it was on the same day as the jury finals. I won the Friday. But yeah, lots of love for him. Jess.
I love the song. I've loved it from the very beginning. I wasn't initially a fan of the staging, but it did grow on me as I saw more performances. I mean, his final performance was very, very good. He was hitting all those notes. He looked and sounded great. And I think it was a well-deserved third place overall for him, and a well-deserved jury win, in my opinion.
I like what he said, that he felt validated by the juries, and I think that for him, that was the biggest win.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, although we did get a great televote score.
Yes.
As well,
absolutely.
So he should be really proud. We've got Donatella. Oh, guys, why are you reminding me? What do you think about 0 points to UK? So we did already speak about that. Not a big deal for me. I think it's Tommy.
Can I say, actually, the 0 points that I'm most shocked about and was least deserved was the Netherlands. They did not deserve 0 points.
Yeah.
That shocked me more than the UK, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I actually thought that the Netherlands was going to kind of end this curse of being the host country, and they were actually going to get a much better result than what they got. And the result of, I think they came 23rd overall, was really, really not deserved. It's one of my favourite host entries ever, I think. Just slightly behind Portugal in 2018. And yeah.
But I think...
Go on, Jess.
I think also because they performed right after Italy, I think that could have possibly had an effect on their performance, maybe, on their overall score.
Well, they were before Italy, weren't they?
Yes,
they were.
One before, sorry, yeah. So I guess they could have been somewhat forgotten because Italy was so memorable.
Yeah, but who would have you placed behind Italy that would have also qualified higher? It was a tough decision.
Yeah.
Who would have followed Italy, I think. It's a one tough act
I'm just
to
going to
follow.
quickly pick up on this comment about Rosie Cooks. Just remember the issue with Måneskin and the allegations came from one or two people in a particular French media. We were surrounded by French press in the press centre, and they very graciously congratulated Italy on the win. So it's not the whole of France, it's not the French delegation. It was one or two people doing unprofessional journalism, in my opinion, for some tabloid outlet, probably. Let's talk about some other countries, guys, because I'm just going to go back to the leaderboard. And we've spoken about Italy, France, Switzerland. We need to talk about Iceland and Finland. So we'll come on to them later. So we'll come on to them next. I'm just seeing who we haven't spoken about. Actually, Cyprus opened the show. Maybe not the result that lots of people were expecting for Elena Tsagrinou. So your thoughts on Cyprus and their finishing position?
I think it was well deserved. The song and the staging was good, but given kind of the songs we had in the final, which was such a high quality, and with them performing first, I don't think that they had quite enough to get themselves in the top 10 or the top 5 like Elena did. And I think the position they got was fair given their song, their performance, and their running order.
Yeah, sorry?
I was just about to say you were a huge fan of the song all the way.
Yes, I was a huge fan of the song because it's an easy song to follow. It like makes me want to switch off my brain and forget about what's going on in the world. And this is what I was looking forward towards this Eurovision Song Contest, something that would distract me and like put my mind away. And I think Cyprus did that. I think a 17th position is a great place for a song that is following a clear formula that Cyprus is repeating. It's no surprise that they are probably trying to recreate another Eleni moment, but we've seen this with Tamta already, and we've seen it now with Elena Tsagrinou. Someone needs to bring this kind of music to the contest, and I'm not upset that it's Cyprus. So for me, it's as long as it qualifies, I was happy it qualified. I didn't think it was going to be a top 10, but she's a great singer. I love that none of her notes were off key, and she actually has this like sort of backbend move and she was able to carry with her voice effortlessly during that move. She came fifth.
That move from me, actually.
Yes, I know. And it was the choreographer of this performance. And I think the juries and both the televotes and the jury thought very similar because they placed 15th with the televote and 16th with the juries. So I think it was like, I don't want to say mediocre. Consistent. Yeah, it was a consistent result.
And again, we have to remember the quality of songs this year.
Yes.
Even if you came 20th, 21st, you've probably done so with a fantastic song. So I don't think anyone should be disappointed with the results, because just to be in the final in amongst all that quality is a huge achievement in itself. Stuart?
Yeah, I mean, she performed great. It looked great. Obviously, certain people had issues with the song, and as a result, Lady Gaga was trending because of it. Which I do think, like being honest, I do think that they had an originality problem. I'm not going to call it plagiarism, but when that many people can draw comparisons, and it wasn't just Lady Gaga, it was also Zara Larsson, it was also who else? Rita Ora. I'm glad that they succeeded in making it to the final, because I don't think anybody had a doubt that they would. But I would like to see them change it up next year, because again, because we've seen so much diversity win this year through the results, they're going to have to shake it up at some point, or otherwise they're going to fall behind.
MZ is asking a good question. How much do we think the performing order affected the overall results?
Actually, I don't think so much, because the songs that were good and did good, and we had good songs at the beginning and good songs at the end. So
to me, I think it's all about how you perform, how your vocals are, how your staging is, and running order plays very little into this, in my opinion.
Aurelio is saying it affected Albania, so let's talk about Albania. A fantastic performance, but the second year in a row that Albania have been drawn second in the final. Thoughts on Albania's position, which I think was, if I remember correctly, 21. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's start with the fact that she did a fantastic performance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she did, and it also looked great too. I did feel really bad about the fact that they were in the second spot again, and I was thinking about the fact that they did that to UNITA as well. For some reason, every year in Eurovision, one of the songs that I really like ends up in that 21st spot, because that happened to Greece in 2019, and then a few others if I think back. But yeah, I mean, somebody's got to go second. I would have preferred it to be someone other than Albania, but I guess, nobody was seeing them as a big contender to win. So whether or not it really harmed their score is, it's difficult to say.
I've got a good question here from Alexandros. Which songs do we think should have been higher?
Oh,
Azerbaijan. I'm going to say.
I'm going to say the Netherlands.
Yeah, for me, it's just
Serbia.
the Netherlands.
Serbia. I'm going to say Serbia. And yeah, I was a little bit surprised that Lithuania actually ended so high. I didn't expect people to like it so much, and that makes me really happy.
Yeah, me too.
Tommy, did you say one?
No, I think for me, I've already said it, but I think San Marino and Malta I thought were going to be higher, at least in my prediction and in my personal preference. But yeah, it's just tricky. The standard was so high, and they have to fall in an order of 26, so it just has to fit in some way. But I think what Stuart said earlier was really interesting, that it looks like Europe is not going after top 40 radio hits anymore in Eurovision. We're looking for something a bit more, which is great, I guess. We're looking for something a bit more unique, more artistry, more I don't want to say credibility, but credibility and authenticity. Yeah. So that was interesting.
And Jess, you said the Netherlands as well.
I did, yes.
I'm just going to say that my brother voted for Azerbaijan this year. I'm not sure if he listened to the song. Azerbaijan definitely got his vote. So guys, let's talk about Lithuania, because Clara mentioned them. Again, fantastic performance. They came 7th? Eighth.
Yes. 8th. They came 7th in the televote, and Greece. No, who was it? Yeah, Switzerland and Lithuania got the same result in the televote. They both got 165. So I'm not really sure which came first or second, but they tied, let's just say. And I remember I was watching, and my uncle sent me did you really place Lithuania higher than Spain? Why? And it's because it's so fresh. It's so fresh, and I'm really happy that people could get behind the song and the choreography. And the group are so kind and humble and talented, and they're so nice to interview. And I'm really happy that Europe could get on board with their craziness and their weird dance moves. And yeah,
it was just so fun, and it
was fun. Yes,
it captured kind of the event and the here and the now perfectly. Just the feeling that it gave you to watch them on stage. It's a shame for me, as catchy as it is and as fun as it was, We Are the Winners, unfortunately, is still Lithuania's best placing at Eurovision. And this really should be their best placing at Eurovision in terms of positions. But yeah, definitely be their most successful.
And Adrenalina, for all the kind of criticisms I had earlier, it should be San Marino's highest placing song.
Don't say it. Don't say the name.
I would actually agree with you on this.
I agree.
But it goes to show you just how competitive Eurovision is getting, and hopefully it continues in this direction, because songs that should have been their country's best placing are being outdone by other countries, just doing something different. And with Lithuania, since this is what we were talking about, I think that they brought the energy that a lot of us assumed those pop songs were going to bring, but they were doing it in a much more different way. So yeah, I'm very, very happy to see them in the top 10.
And I'm very excited to see what kind of musical diversity we get next year in Italy as well. Any countries that we haven't mentioned yet? Because it'd be good to give Portugal.
Oh yes.
Oh,
Let's talk
yeah.
about Portugal.
That was a pleasant surprise. And I did see somebody in the comments ask us about what we thought about them getting such a good result when at the time there was all this controversy over the fact that the song was in English, and two, that they were not the televote favorite in Festival de Canção. This is great. This is great for Portugal. I'm very curious to see how it's going to change the selection for next year in Festival de Canção, because I'm always a big fan of it, and maybe we'll see an even bigger diversity of languages. And it has to be. It's probably the song that placed the highest in the score when compared to like fan polls and odds when the song was released, because it was super low. And so I'm really happy that this did as well as it did.
A nil error. I actually thought that this song, I'm just going to pick up this comment because apparently it came 11th in the UK televote. I was really shocked to see that the UK televoters didn't give points to Portugal, but now I know they almost did. I thought it was going to be one that would just blow people away. My mum didn't like it, which really,
yeah. It was my mum's favourite, so
I was really shocked. My mum took me through all of the songs in the final, which ones she liked and which ones she didn't like last night. And Portugal's one that she wasn't too interested in, unfortunately. Tommy, Portugal.
Yeah, such a pleasant surprise. I wasn't a fan before I saw the rehearsals, but once I saw that staging and that rehearsal, it was just so classy and so kind of like that timeless quality that we've seen from Portugal before. Yeah, and his voice was so incredible. He had like so much emotion and authenticity in his performance, and yeah, I'm so happy that they got that high position that many people wouldn't have predicted, I'd say.
For me, I have to apologise to Portugal and to the Black Mamba, because I wasn't really giving them a chance, I don't think, going into this contest. And for me, it totally transformed when I saw the live performance and the staging, and this has now become one of my favorite songs to stream and to listen to as well. So yeah, it's an apology from me that I didn't give it a chance, but I'm happy that my mind was changed, and I actually had this down as a possible an outside chance for a potential win again for Portugal as well. And I know they didn't make top 10, but 12th position when people were totally discounting them before qualifying from the semi-finals is amazing, and the fact that their performance resonated with enough people to get them into that spot is a great achievement for them, I think. And I really hope that the platform enables the Black Mamba to be even more universal outside of Portugal. I know that they've done a lot of shows in kind of South America. And we're talking about musical diversity. For me, Portugal singing in English was again musical diversity, because it's something that we don't really hear. So musical diversity doesn't always mean that someone has to sing in their national language. And I agree with Stu. I hope that they can embrace that and now be a bit more supportive, maybe, of English language songs at Festival de Canção, because that's a great music festival in itself. Any other countries that we haven't spoken about? Who's got a good memory? I'm just going to keep bringing this up.
We haven't talked about Iceland.
Iceland, yes.
Considering it was a big, we've heard a lot about Iceland. There was a big, that they were the favorite to win last year, and they came back with 10 years. And for me, the song was really, I preferred their song last year because it was more of a surprise. We got like part 2 of the same song. And even though they did a really good job placing 4th, and considering everything that happened and what we saw was a rehearsal, was not the final performance, I don't think I'm going to listen to that song. Or that is humor. It's not one I connect with very much.
It's funny you should say that, because I watched the dance tutorial video for 10 years today. And I just find him so hilarious. He's just like, I've never paid that much attention just to him talking. And with
Also,
like-
it's a 10-minute long dance tutorial, and you're just entertained throughout it. Like,
like he entertains me as an entertainer and as a comedian, but maybe not as a musician.
fair enough.
I think I didn't appreciate him and what they were doing until maybe too late. I think because I wasn't a huge supporter of Iceland in the in the final. But I'm gonna watch more Daddy stuff because it just makes me really happy, and I could watch him for hours just talking. I mean, he could be talking about a cardboard box, and he would be funny. And I have to say, actually, I preferred 10 years now to think about things.
Interesting. Yeah, it's going to be a big question about where will Daddy Freyr's and Gagnamagni's career go afterwards, because they entered Songvikapnen in 2017 as just like something to try, and they weren't expecting to do as well as they did, but then they came second, and then they tried again, and then they won, and so they just kind of kept the ball going. They kept the ball rolling with their quirkiness and the really unique deadpan presence, but with these really quirky dance moves. I'm very happy that they made it into the top 5. I for a while I was still thinking that they could still win. Of course, when they got that when it was found out that one of the band members had tested positive for COVID-19, it did feel like they might not benefit from the energy in the crowd. And ultimately, yeah. Also, can we appreciate getting that moment in the show as well? I don't know. I'm very happy. In a different reality where they were on stage, maybe they could have placed a little bit higher, but I don't know. 4th is an accomplishment, I would say.
Tommy, I thought you were going to start getting ready for bed.
No, I just had to get to a charger.
Where's Tommy going? I hope it's not the toilet.
And he's taking us with him, no?
I saw someone talking about the Moldova mic drop. I didn't know anything about that until today. Oh, have I just kicked someone out?
Or maybe his connection went.
Guys, just give me 1 second. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Oh, I kicked you out by accident. The Moldova mic drop. I only saw it today. I never knew it had happened. But she just dropped that during the performance.
She did,
Yeah.
and the funny thing is that the backing vocals were so high that you didn't realize her vocals had gone away, which is interesting. And actually, going back to when we were talking about what our surprises were, Moldova finishing on the left-hand side was a surprise for me.
Yes.
I mean, it's a surprise, but when you look into it, you can maybe understand potentially why it happened. But yes,
I'm not sure how much surprise it was for me, but that's not necessarily because of musical credibility or popular support. But I'm happy that she was living her dream on Eurovision stage after 15 years. Is it that she was last?
I'm happy she has those good friends.
And I will say, to her credit, after that mic drop incident, she carried on like a professional. She covered up very well, and she didn't falter at all. She kept her face, focused, and yeah, she performed really well after that. Yeah,
she's a lovely character. Actually, she's just been for me, she's just been turned into a product and manufactured this year. So it'd be interesting to see what happens in the next few years with her career. I'd like to see her maybe doing something a little less manufactured and being more herself. Stu, you were going to say something.
Oh, I was just going to say sorry for dipping out because I was smelling something and I thought that my house was on fire, but everything's okay.
Feeling getting higher.
My house is on fire. I'm calling 911.
We also
calling 911. No. What's that fluoride rap?
Got to talk about Norway and Sweden, so the two Nordic countries. So Sweden, their worst result for a while, I think, 14th place in the final.
Worst result since they didn't qualify in 2010.
With Anna Bergendahl.
And they did better with the televote than the juries.
For the first time in a very long time.
That is no surprise. I am actually surprised that Sweden finished 14th.
I think 14th was a fair placing for the
Yeah.
song and for the performance.
Because we also can't say like that Cyprus isn't a bad placing if they came 16th and then be like 14th is bad for Sweden. I mean, I think it looks bad considering their history, but it's still it was a decent placing. But I do think that people picked up on the fact that the song was not telling the story that it wanted to tell. It was perhaps being read as like, you know, platitudinous.
And Norway ticks. One of the that I really got on board with. Clara loves ticks. Tommy loves ticks.
I love Tix. Yes, what an enjoyable character.
Let's come to you, Jess. Tix was he? Where did he come?
18th.
Oh,
I think it was a good placing for him. I think, you know, 75 points is a nice amount of points for the song that he gave us, for the performance that he gave us. I think he was fairly consistent with both jury and televote, so ish, kind of.
Not quite.
No,
okay. Yeah, he only got 15 points from the juries and 60 points from the televote.
Yeah, well, that's no surprise because this was always going to be more of a televote song, in my opinion. But I'm happy for him. I'm happy that he got to live his dream and make it to the final. And I think 18th place is a good placing.
Do you guys know the necklace that he has with the die that has ones on all sides of it? So supposedly that's supposed to reference the fact that he got either one or a series of like really low scores from music critics on an album or a single. And this has kind of been the character that he's been in Norway, where he's immensely popular with the public, but he isn't as well received with music critics. So the fact that this was reflected in the score doesn't surprise me too much. But you know, I think that an artist like him, like he's that kind of artist where in the future people will be looking back at the music that he does and they'll be thinking like, oh, actually that was good. Actually, that did have musical merit. You know,
like the Backstreet Boys or Britney Spears now.
Sure, yeah.
I was really endeared to him throughout this whole Eurovision fortnight, actually. And, you know, I wasn't the biggest fan of the song, but once you get to know more about him, you know, huge props to him as well for taking his glasses off partway through the performance. I think that in itself is really brave. And, you know, he's been so open about his mental health, about his Tourette's, that you can't not have respect for the guy and will him to do well. What is it? Offentix?
Offentix, yeah.
We'll find out soon. But yeah, maybe he snuck a few votes from Azerbaijan as well. But just really happy to see him there. I don't think he was there to win. I think he was just there to be himself, to be on a stage and do what he loves doing, and kind of to prove it to himself as well that he could do it, maybe. But there you go, guys. I am going to say that if you're watching us, because loads of you are, and you haven't subscribed, then please do subscribe. We hit 13,000 subscribers 2 nights ago. We're already on our way to 14,000 subscribers, and we're going to help you guys cure your post-Eurovision depression. Give it 2 months, you won't even know what post-Eurovision depression is. So make sure you subscribe, and thank you to those of you that have already done so and have taken part in live tonight. Last country to talk about is Israel and Eden, who got the record for the B6 note. She did it. She managed it. For me, not a huge surprise in the kind of finishing position. I think some people didn't even see this going through to the semi-final, going through to the final. But really happy that she was there doing her thing. She's an amazing young artist. Tommy, your thoughts on Israel's finishing position?
Yeah, I think that's probably where I would have expected them to finish. But she did such an amazing performance, and she had so many unique characteristics to her performance in terms of the whistle note, the dress reveal, that braided dress that she was wearing, Her dancers and the choreography were like on point. So yeah, it was so polished. It was really good. And to think about the first version that we heard, and then the 2 iterations to that third final
Yeah.
version of the song we got.
That song there by
What
now.
an evolution! Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah,
Yes, indeed.
it was definitely a very much needed revamp, and obviously, it was thanks to that revamp that she was able to fit in that record-breaking note. Yeah, I mean, no surprises for me. I have to say, I wasn't expecting it to really pull through, and I do think that this is another one of those songs that, because it's in that solo female pop cluster, based on the scores that we've seen, it would it suffered because it perhaps wasn't as unique as the songs that did really, really well. But I do really like Eden as a performer, and she's obviously super charismatic.
I was a big fan of Fekelebir last year. It was one of my favorite songs going into the festival, and I still listen to it from this day because it just makes me happy. So I'm really looking forward to see what she brings out after Set Me Free. If it would be more towards Fekelebir or Set Me Free.
Jess, anything to add?
I think you pretty much said it all. She gave a great performance, one that Israel can be proud of, and the placing I feel was reflective of her performance and her song. And she's another artist I would love to see back in Eurovision one day with something more her style. So yeah.
Well, I'm pretty sure that we've spoken about all the countries, but I do have a very, very important and quite a serious announcement to make, guys. So
we're fired.
Yeah. So 2 years ago, I was lucky enough to interview Mahmoud in Tel Aviv before Eurovision. And if you go back and watch that interview, you may see that Mahmoud promised he would take me for carbonara in Milan. So now that we are actually heading to Italy for Eurovision, I want you guys in Italy to start spreading the message and letting Mahmoud know that I still haven't had my carbonara. Let him know I am coming to Italy next year. And I'm still down for the carbonara in Milan or anywhere that he would like to take me. So guys, I'd appreciate if you can start spreading the message on your socials. Tag Mahmoud, tag Andy Eurovoxx, and tag Eurovoxx, and let's make this happen in Italy next year. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. We've been much longer than we expected to be, and we all have beds to go to, but we've really enjoyed hearing the comments. If we haven't been able to call out your comments, we're so sorry. There's been so many of you in the live chat. We've tried to say hello, but if we haven't said hello, then this kiss is for you. And don't forget to go and like our Facebook page, subscribe, follow us on our socials, on our Insta and our Twitter, and we will be back very soon in the next video. So Clara, Tommy, Jess, Stu, let's do a unison wave and we'll say goodnight to everyone. See you guys.
Bye.
Bye.